let's go ahead and dive right into today's topic, guys. First, I want to talk about the Radiant Pokemon. I was extraordinarily excited when I saw the announcement of these Radiant Pokemon cards when that first leaked Greninja and that leaked Hawlucha happened. I think Heatran took a while to come out. I don't know why. But when those first two came out, it was amazing. It was like, okay, these are going to be awesome chase cards. And before I give my opinion on it, ASX, I want to know kind of like where you landed on, like, just let's take a look at Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, and the upcoming Lost Origins, which is this week, actually, so happy release week. What are your initial thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I was excited about them as well. I think kind of what got me most excited was, honestly, the Greninja. In seeing its artwork and everything, I just thought it looked really, really nice. But then, we kind of got to see more of them as different sets came out, and it just wasn't. It was a bit lackluster. Yeah. It felt like, especially when it came to the artwork and really what I think these, could have been. A lot of what we're seeing is very basic style artworks, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I'm the type of person that, that Greninja, absolutely beautiful card. So if they could have done something like that with more of them, I think they would have been a little bit more of a success. And then you get into the whole side of, playability with these cards. And there was a huge, hope that these were going to be, pretty big game changers in the actual game. You're only able to put one Radiant Pokemon in your whole deck. So you can't have Radiant,
so wild,
Charizard,
man.
Greninja, and Blastoise, or Venusaur, all of those. You can only have one. So it was thought that this was going to be like a game-changing card, have game-changing abilities in that. And a couple of them do, but the greater majority of them do not really, which is really unfortunate because they could have been, really big game-changing cards. Now,
well, I mean, were any of these cards in? I mean, Worlds just happened. Were any of these cards in any of the major decks played at Worlds?
Yes, yeah, there were. So I took a look at it. I took a look at like the top 30 decks, and there were 2 Radiant Pokemon in the top 30 decks that were used.
Okay.
The most used by far was the Radiant Greninja. Second most used, and I think it only came up maybe 2 or 3 times in the top 30, was the Radiant Charizard. Not a single other of the Radiant Pokemon that we currently have in English. There's a few more that are going to be coming out here in the next couple sets, but not a single other one had been used in any of the top 30 decks. Now, after that, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably some other ones. But yeah, Radiant Greninja by far. I think, I didn't count the exact number, but I think it was roughly around half. So around, I would say maybe 12 to 15 decks actually had a Radiant Greninja in it because of its ability allowing you to discard 1 water energy and take 2 cards out of your, draw 2 cards from your deck. Super awesome ability. Allows you to just keep the game moving really, really well. So yeah, that was about half the decks. None of the top 3 used a Radiant card at all.
So but even if they are being in the decks, they're kind of like supporter cards, right? Because I mean, obviously, you're not going to build a deck around one card, So yeah, I mean, there ability is supporter.
A Radiant Charizard deck, kind of, but it's a difficult one to play from what I've seen.
Hard to get out of the field.
It was maybe like, and it was like maybe it got maybe like 25th or so.
Okay.
Out of everybody, so not terrible.
I would have done so much better.
Yeah, you're right. There's really no viable decks that are built around these cards because you can only have one of them. Again, it's not like your other VMAXs, V-Stars where you can have up to 4 copies. So, yeah, it's kind of sad to see that. I mean, these just really aren't getting any play aside from the 2.
Yeah. So
right now,
like you were saying, there are some more Radiant cards coming. So this Friday, Lost Origins is dropping. We're gonna get 3 more Radiant Pokemon cards, right? What are those 3? ASX. What are those 3?
Yeah, we are looking at Radiant Gardevoir, which actually looks pretty cool. I do like that one.
It's a pack art. That'll be the best Radiant for that set, I think.
I think so as well. And then we're looking at Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, which the Pokemon Company loves. Hisuian Sneasler.
Don't know why.
I don't know why.
Strangest looking little thing.
Got a Radiant. And then we're actually looking at Radiant Steelix, which is pretty cool as well because he's gold. So that's pretty awesome to see.
Radiant Steelix is definitely a good artwork for sure, and the Radiant Gardevoir is, I can almost guarantee you, is going to be the Radiant Chase of the set. And then we have Silver Tempest coming out later in the year, which also has 3 Radiant cards associated with it. I know there's the amazing looking Radiant Alakazam, which is going to be probably my favorite Radiant card at the end of the day. Radiant Jirachi and a Radiant Serena.
That's correct.
And those, Jirachi's pretty cool. I mean, shiny Jirachi is extraordinarily hard to get, like in the video games and stuff like that. So that's an awesome thing. I don't really like his color scheme. It just turns like a little orange. I'm not a big orange guy, but you know what? Jirachi deserves the love for sure. But now that you've talked about a little bit of the viability and the playing side of things, let's talk about the collectors real quick here. We all know that shiny Pokemon is, it's almost the end-all be-all of Pokemon video games, right? You have to, you got to become the champion to, let the credits roll and stuff like that. And your hardest battle is always the champion, and you got to beat him to take over, and then that's supposedly the end of the game. But anybody who's played Pokemon past defeating the champion knows that pretty much the only thing that you can do afterwards is 1, fill out your Pokedex, and 2, hunt for some shiny Pokemon. And that's literally it, guys. Yes, there's a competitive scene for VGC and all that stuff, but that's like super duper hardcore. And guess what? Almost all those people want shiny Pokemon anyway as well. They want perfect IV shinies because they want to flex. They want to flex on you.
You got to flex hard with your shinies.
That's right. And then even in the Pokemon TCG, shiny Pokemon has always been a very sought after type genre of card, right? Starting with the gold stars that we got back in the day, and Neo getting the shining Pokemon. They were all the most expensive cards for the sets were the shining Pokemon, were the gold star Pokemon, and then they gave us subsets featuring these shiny Pokemon that were huge. Probably the best sets ever, like Hidden Fates, right? Hidden Fates is considered to this day the best modern set ever released. I still think it's better than Evolving Skies. It's just such better to open. It's way more fun to open. Evolving Skies is a drag, and we will talk about that a little bit later in today's episode. And then Shining Legends was a very, very fun set. Shining Fates was a very, very fun set until they printed it to the floor. We're going to talk about that later in today's episode as well. And it's just the fact that they now have taken the shiny Pokemon and threw it on cards that you can get for 25 cents in terms of the Halucha and the Heatran. It's so sad to me. It's so sad to me. Did you ever think that we would have a shiny Blastoise card that you can buy for $7? A shiny Venusaur card that you can buy for $6?
Not that low. I will say.
Shiny Eevee for $3?
Right. That's a good looking Eevee card too.
Yeah.
I would say I didn't expect them to be this low for sure, because they were going to, shiny, hopefully a little bit harder to pull, which really didn't turn out to be true.
Yep.
But after seeing what happened with Celebrations and how just crazy fast those prices tanked on that Blastoise, that Venusaur, that Charizard.
There's over 200 of the starters on TCG Player right now. Over 200. That's insane.
Radiant?
Yeah, of Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur each. 200 each.
Wow.
There's over 400 Heatran and Halucha. That's how common these cards are.
Yeah, super, super common. That's another thing that I think is really working against them. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's sad to see when that happens to the shinies, because like you said, in the video games, it is completely different. Those are so hard to find. Those are our alternate arts, basically. So
were you around for Vivid Voltage?
Heck yeah, it was.
Yeah, so before Vivid Voltage, I don't remember the name of the Legendary Heartbeat. So when Legendary Heartbeat came out in Japan and introduced the Amazing Rare, and then come to find out that we were getting the Amazing Rares inside Vivid Voltage, it was a special time, right? People were chasing those amazing rares from the Legendary Heartbeat set like crazy. And when those cards first started to come out in the Vivid Voltage set, and they were hot and they were popping and people wanted them, it was a different type of card. It was a card that we had like never seen before in the Pokemon TCG. It was so different. The holo pattern was so different. The color blast was amazing. The etching, the etch holographics at the bottom and the numbers and the rarity symbol, absolutely awesome stuff. And then they printed those to the floor and made them extraordinarily common, right? It's basically the exact same thing they did with these Radiants. So these Radiants filled the void of the amazing rare. And this is by far my least favorite section of cards that Pokemon prints. You got your commons, uncommons, rares, holo rares, reverse holos, Vs, VMAXs, full arts, rainbows, golds. Just listen to me list all this shit off. It's insane. Alternate arts, V alternate arts, VMAX alternate arts, Trainer Gallery V, Trainer Gallery VMAX. There's so much of it. Black Star promo, right? All these different types of cards. Is there a more lost card than this special type of card, like the Radiant and the Amazing Rare, that just never get... What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah, it really does feel like that. I mean, they're pretty much just a throw-in card, we just need to fill a couple extra spots, let's throw a couple Radiants in there.
It's definitely what it feels like. I know that they
make the full rate crazy.
They did the Charizard, the Blastoise, and Venusaur as hype beast, right? They were like, oh guys, we're giving you a Pokemon Go set, and we're gonna put a shiny Charizard, a shiny Blastoise, and a shiny Venusaur inside. Oh, right? That may have been inappropriate. I apologize if you're watching. But it's just...
Gonna have to mark this one explicit.
But it's insane to me. And it's just okay, cool. You hype beasted the hell out of them and then made them common as hell. And the Amazing Rares. It's just wasted. Ancient Trait. Do you remember Ancient Trait at the end of X and Y? With the really cool, almost half full arts. And then some of them are holographic. The Dragonite, just amazing looking cards. A lot of people don't know this. They printed shiny Pokemon in Steam Siege. Did you know that?
Yeah, those were the half cards. The half cards,
right? Yeah, the dual typing cards were shiny variants, but none of them were even holographic. I don't think a single one of them were holographic. They're all regular rares, and you can get them all right now for 5 cents.
Yeah.
And then it's just I don't know, man. It's just they need to treat certain things with more respect, right? And this is coming from a fanboy, so sue me, as opposed to somebody who works for Pokemon. How are you going to tell me what to do? I work, right? I invented Pokemon. But shiny Pokemon hold a very, 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 very special spot inside a lot of Pokemon fans' hearts. And just to throw them out here like this is absolutely bothersome. So if they go into Generation 9, the one thing that I would love to see them get rid of is this just nonsensical, doesn't matter little type of card like the Radiant, the Amazing Rare, the Ancient Trait. Just get rid of them. Just get rid of them.
Yeah. It definitely would be nice to have a little bit of a purge in terms of different rarities and that, because just listening to you list off all those, it's you don't really realize there literally is that many different rarities until you see it or you hear it like that, and it's geez, they could definitely stand to cut some of that out.
I agree. This is what I would do. You take your best holo rares in the set, right? You got to give some of the best Pokemon regular holo rares, right? Blastoise holo rare, Venusaur holo rare, Charizard holo rare, right? Just, you got to, right? And you make the exact same artwork, but you make it shiny, you change the color, you change the texture, give it a different border, give it a gold border, just like you used to back in the days in the EX Megas and stuff like that. Give it that shiny gold border instead of just yellow, and just make it significantly more rare. Almost as if you found that shiny Pokemon in the game. They're overcomplicating it. You don't need a subset of shiny Pokemon. You don't need, a little subset within a set of these Radiants and stuff like that. Or not, I keep saying subset for the first one, but I guess it would be a special set is what they call it. Hidden Fates, Shiny Fates special set. You don't need that. It's cool, but you don't need it. People are going to buy Pokemon cards anyway. So just make them more rare. And then every single set has 5 or 6 shiny Pokemon that you can pull that are the regular holographics, and maybe even 1 or 2 full arts, and make them, instead of, like, you know how like the gold ones are shiny Pokemon, gold Snorlax is technically shiny Snorlax, like do the same thing, but like just take the gold out of it and do the front texture, make it shiny, and just make it a gold border instead of just, I don't know, man, this is just spitballing here, but I feel like it's a much better idea than wasting shiny Pokemon like this.